Hi, I'm Kim Alexis.
Today in Paris, Patrick Kelly is showing his collection of spring clothes.
Hi, I'm Kim Alexis with your ticket to adventure.
I'm Kim Alexis, and I'm here in New York City.
We've got a great show coming up for you, so stay tuned.
Okay, so this man really needs no introduction, but I will tell you and tease you, he has 7 Cy Young Awards. He was an all-star player with 2 world champions and just amazing guy, Roger Clemens. Thank you for being on the show.
How you doing, dear? Good to finally get this done here. We've been trying to get this on the calendar. So, yeah, we're both so busy, but we need to slow down a little bit and meet in Sedona again.
Yeah, I know, at the She Cave.
Yeah, you're welcome there. No, you don't have to ask. You can just show up. The guys, Jeff and I and all of us, we have to be invited.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's just the way it is. All right, so let's start when you were young. You grew up in Houston. I love that you stayed where you grew up, right? And
I did.
Yeah, you were not only a baseball player. What year did you start playing baseball?
Well, actually, my mom said it best. I was complaining that why I couldn't play baseball at 7 years old. I was ready to go at 7, but the Little League team, you had to be 9 years old, and I was really chapped about that. So I was ready to go at 7, but I started playing baseball when I was 9.
Okay.
My pops passed away right about that same time. And I was raised by 2 strong-willed women, my mother and my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she was into it. My mom actually had 3 jobs. She was an accountant by day. I helped her stock coolers when I was in high school at a convenience store. And then in the evenings, we vacuum and clean some big office buildings. And so every year I got a new pair of spikes, new pair of cleats, and a brand new glove. And, I thought we were rich. So, but Mom worked her tail off to make, she raised 6 of us. So how I ended up in Texas was my oldest brother got stationed at Fort Hood, and he was in the Vietnam War. And so Mom picked us all up, and we ended up in Houston, and that's kind of where things took off.
Yeah, it's so amazing that, your young career really does shape who you become. But not only baseball, you played also football and basketball?
Yeah, I played all sports. I try and encourage the kids now to quit being just one sport only, to enjoy the other sports if they can play them, where they run track, play soccer, whatever it might be. Sports and baseball in particular is a game of life. There's a lot of failures. Like you said, if my youngest son plays for the Twins, and like everybody knows, if he gets 3 hits out of 10 times at bat, he's going to do very well. I mean, so if you went to a doctor, Kim, if you went to a doctor that had 3 successful surgeries out of 10, I'm pretty sure you're not going back.
Right.
So that's how difficult the game is. It teaches you life lessons, and I have a couple fun ones. Like one of the coaches that the winningest coach in college baseball, he's since passed, Augie Garrido. Augie had a sign in the dugout. He had a big sign right so where all the guys could see it. And he said, it's just the way the world works, boys. He goes, the world treats winners a lot different than they teach losers. And that's just the way it is. So
was he a coach for your Texas Longhorns?
He was. He actually came from Cal State Fullerton, and took over the Longhorns when my 2 younger boys were there playing for him. So I loved it because he's not only a great coach. Again, your viewers, I had 3 wonderful coaches. Like I said, I lost my dad. So my high school coach is almost like a father figure. Great baseball coach, better teacher of the game and life. My college coach was the winningest coach of all time. Same thing, great coach, but more life lessons that he gave us that I could draw on even after my playing days, after my 24 years in the major leagues.
That's a blessing right there.
Big time.
Yeah. So when you were a senior in high school, you turned down 2 MLB teams to go to a community college?
I did. Actually, my mom was a stickler on education. I took classes in high school and graduated at 17, extremely young. and had an opportunity to, if I didn't get a full ride scholarship back then, I wasn't going to be able to go to school. We just didn't have the money,
Right.
but I was able to do that. And once the scouts came calling, like I said, I was 17 turning 18, and one of them kind of was like rude and said, basically, if you don't sign this contract, you're probably never going to get a chance to play Major League Baseball ever. And so I spent a day and a half in my room with tears in my eyes thinking, man, I blew it. And Mom basically told the guy, don't let the door hit you in the backside on the way out, because he's going to school. I want him to get an education. So that's kind of how that worked out. And she was right, because a couple of years at the University of Texas, 2 trips to the College World Series. 1983, they just did a documentary out the summer of '83. Our '83 team, I beat Alabama for the final game in the championship.
Right.
And I got drafted number 1 by Boston. So I was pretty fortunate.
Well, and so before you got drafted by Boston, 2 years before that, you were drafted, what, in the 9th round or 19th?
I think the 19th round. It was the Phillies or the Mets.
It was the New York Mets.
There you go. See,
according to Wikipedia.
Let's see. You've been doing your homework. You're going to be my pitching coach here if you keep this up.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You can give me some advice on how to hold the grips on my pitches.
No. I was actually seeing some of those. I'm like, the splitter was like this.
Oh, yeah. Nasty.
So, you have to tell me more about all that later. And I want to know what a beanball is later.
Beanball, sure.
Yeah. But to be 19 and to be in a 19th round draft pick, most guys would take that, and you didn't. So what was that inner drive in yourself? You either weren't ready, or you knew that you were going to do something different, or?
Yeah, after my freshman year in college, my body matured. Obviously, going from 17 years old to 19 years old. I learned a lot. And again, it was basically my mom saying that I want you to go get your education. I was in the business school at Texas. My boys went through McCombs Business School, graduated with honors from that. I tell my boys, I love it that they played professionally, but I'm more grateful that they graduated from McCombs Business School, because that was super important. And it's a great stepping stone for what they're doing now. And of course, the young one is still playing in the major leagues, but it was basically listen to Mom's advice. I mean, listen to her wisdom. Same thing again with my grandmother. When I lost my dad, my grandmother said it perfectly. You're going to have to be much of a man at an early age. And so, that's what happened. So high school was great. We still, like you said, we're in Houston, and we still Debbie and I live probably 5 miles from our high school.
Wow.
And so we're right here. Our boys went to a different high school, but yeah, this is our roots. I do my work, some work with the Astros and stuff like that, and other major league teams. When the Yankees or Red Sox ask me to come visit with some younger pitchers, we do so.
Yeah. Okay. So now what happened between the draft in 81 and then the draft in 83? How come you weren't drafted in 82?
Because you're not allowed to. That's why I went to a junior college. When you came out of high school, if you went to a 4-year school, you could not be drafted until after your junior year. If you go to a junior college, so that's why. And I stayed closer to home. It was, the University of Texas. When I came out of high school, I went up there and they were offering me books and tuition, and it was a huge campus, very intimidating for me. Even though it was only 2.5 hours away. I had a San Jacinto, right down the road, about 40 minutes. So I could come home, bring my dirty laundry home and do my laundry at the house. And, I was close to everybody still. I grew 2 inches to 6'4". I put some weight on. My fastball jumped from about 92 to 95 miles an hour, 96 miles an hour. And Texas came calling again. So I went to the University of Texas on a full ride. And I had to stay there for my sophomore and junior year. My sophomore year, we lost to University of Miami. And then, like I said earlier, my junior year, we came back, won the College World Series, and I was drafted number 1 by Boston. And kind of the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, for you. And you have a big history. So it must be tough to be a Texas boy and to go live in Boston.
Man, I learned how to drive. I learned how not to use my blinker and let people know that I'm getting over. You don't do that too. But I
They're
think
crazy up there.
yeah, oh yeah. I think Deb and the boys think Poppy Rocket's an aggressive driver because I learned in Boston how to drive. So it was great. I got to play. I mean, yeah, it was shocking. I was like Boston because being here in Texas, the Houston Astros, my hometown team, and the Texas Rangers they were scouting me every time I took the mound.
Right.
And so I thought I was going to get drafted by one of those two. The Red Sox took me. And, once I got to Boston, man, the history there, Fenway Park, and the history that they've had there, and the great players before me that came through there, Cy Young, Babe Ruth, and Ted Williams, Yaz, and all the guys that I played with my first couple of years. It was tremendous. So, yeah.
But you didn't like the stadium.
The stadium?
Didn't you do some quote saying something about Fenway Park not being up to par or something?
I don't know. I don't know about that, but I just remember the big green monster. I remember driving there. I don't know if we had cell phones in '83. The first time they brought me to see Fenway Park, the Red Sox, after I was going through the minor leagues. And anyway, I think I had my head. I landed at the airport, jumped in a cab to go to Fenway Park, and I had my face in a newspaper or magazine. And the cab driver stopped. And he goes, "Here you go, kid." And I looked out the window, and it was a red brick building. It looked like a warehouse. And I was like, "Hey, cabbie, I'm a professional ball player, professional athlete. I'm going to Fenway Park. It's a baseball stadium." He goes, "This is it. This is it, kid. Get your, out of my cab." And so I walked around. They greet me, and they walk me up the tunnel. And there's the big green monster. The field and the grass was green as can be. It was a really cool sight. And then, of course, my mom, loving history, she wrote me a cool little poem about Fenway Park and the city of Boston. So it was wonderful. Yeah, it was a wonderful 13 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was amazing. I would love to ask you about the inner cement. I don't even know what you call it. Like you to be the intensity, and I can't say it, I'm a girl, but just to pitch and to just have all this pressure on you to still be able to perform. Did you ever realize, like, oh, if I screw this pitch up, or if I did you ever?
Yeah, no, it would be. I mean, I could relate it to your career. When you're all in, you're prepared. You do your homework before you do your photo shoots or whatever you were doing, to get ready for your work. You're prepared. Again, pressure, as they say, burst pipes or whatever you want to say. All these cliches, but it's true. If you're prepared, I know going into a game that when I get up and I'm washing my hair that morning, I'm already going through the lineup of the guys I'm going to face.
Right.
And I know at some point in that game, I'm going to have a little issue, like men on second and third and one out. If we're in the opposing ballpark, the fans are going to be really coming down on you. 55,000 people. And so, but you're prepared for it. It's like, the Kentucky Derby's coming up. It's like putting blinders on.
Okay.
And you got your blinders on, and you're really focused. In spring training, so let me back up. When you're in spring training getting ready, you show up in spring training and you get about 6 starts in spring training. My first couple starts, I might pitch 3 or 4 innings, and I always your concentration and your focus. Like my first couple spring training starts, Kim, I will hear the popcorn vendor and I can hear the beer guy yelling, selling beer, and I can see dugout to dugout.
Right.
By my 4th or 5th start, my 6th start, when we're getting ready to break camp to start the season, I don't hear any of that. I mean, it's like one of those movies where they just zoom in, right? Your focus zooms in on everything. So
right.
But I did the work behind the scenes. I have a saying, and it holds true. I said my only day off was the day I pitched, and that held true because the work I had to do that nobody else sees. You don't see me running at the stadium and putting the miles in between all the stuff that you're doing.
Right.
So, but I was all in. You know me a little more personally than maybe some of your viewers. When I'm on the mound and I'm behind that stare and that glove, I'm all in. My mom, again, that's a trait that my mother and grandmother. I mean, I watched them work their tails off.
Yeah.
So it does piss me off sometimes when I hear people say, "Well, you silver spoon to athletes." This, I said, "Wait a second, hold up." I said, my mom raised 6 of us. We had nothing. I said, I was in high school twice. I saw my mom with her hands in her head on the kitchen table because our electricity was going to get turned off.
Oh,
So somebody makes an asinine comment that really doesn't take the time to get to know you or know your background, it does fire me up a little bit.
well, and
And so,
I think what
yeah,
fires me up is when we see these young kids who don't even want to go to college anymore. They just want to be an influencer, and they're going to make more money than, their parents ever did or whatever. And I'm like, where is your skill? Where is the time you're putting into learning a craft?
yeah.
Something.
So, some of them have a knack. I mean, you will see guys that will. I mean, the thing I can correlate that to would be, a guy coming through the minor leagues at a young age very fast, and he gets to the big leagues where the lights are very bright. They talk about the lights being really bright, and they're not prepared for that. They're not seasoned or prepared for it. They really hadn't put the work in. That some things kind of came easy for them, and I have to tell the 9-year-old grandboys. I make them look at when they get upset at their little baseball games. They're playing kids pitch for the first time, and
Oh,
I take them out. I take them out to the gym and I show them my plaque, and I said, "All right, how many wins did Poppy have?" And they go 360, whatever. And I go, "Now look over there. See the L? How many losses did I have? I had a lot of losses." I said, "I don't think I cried on every loss, maybe a couple, but I knew that it was going to be tough. You're gonna fail a lot,
right,
and then it's the people that can get back up again." Like I said, I can bring that into your field of work, what you did about being prepared, how great, you had to have a tremendous amount of discipline. I go through three things: physically, the physical part, you're in charge of your body and how you look.
right,
That's the physical part of it. I did all the work behind the scenes. Physically, I knew I was not going to get tired, whether I was pitching 5 innings or I was pitching 9 innings.
right,
Then the biggest thing for me is my mental part of the game. Mentally, I'm going to crush you because I'm locked in. I'm going to crush you mentally. And
right,
then last part of my game is sometimes emotions came into play. I tried when my arm was what we call underwater, like I really didn't have my fastball.
right,
I would think about my mom being sick or my grandma. I would try and will myself through the first couple innings, and then all of a sudden I get going. And next
right.
thing you know, here we go. I'm on. The lights are bright. I'm on center stage, and here we go. So that's all. It's a process that you go through on how you do it.
Yeah, and that's what makes a pro is really that mindset and putting the time and energy in. I love hearing that. So then what happened when you went to Toronto next, right?
I did.
Yeah, why? No,
Yeah.
that was
So
from an
no,
in.
no, it's a great question. So, and it's a pretty, it got distorted. Just people like again, just kind of grabbing stuff when they write about you. Well, we say it doesn't have to be correct or true; it just has to be first. And so, the Boston deal was my contract had run up, and they got a new general manager. Now, if the old Mrs. Yockey, who I loved, who was there when I signed, and she's the one who really introduced me to the Jimmy Fund, which we still do stuff with that's their biggest cancer, yeah, charity up there. It's really cool. And but anyway, so the new GM, he got not rid of me, but he got rid of maybe four other guys. A couple of the guys probably had the best swing on the team, but he wanted his own team and to do things his way. So I was actually on vacation in Hawaii with Deb and the little guys, and I got a call from the agents to come back. We need to talk to you. You're a free agent. There's something important. I said, I really need to fly. They go, yeah, you need to come back. So we came back from vacation a day early, and next thing you know, I couldn't get an offer from a team that I was with for 13 years, Kim. But then next thing you know, I got four teams offer me a ridiculous contract, four-year deal, ridiculous. And it was one was Toronto, I think one was Cleveland, one was the Yankees, and somebody else. And I kind of let them. I hit it off with the owner of the Blue Jays. You got to understand. Let me back up again. When I was with the Red Sox, our rival was normally the New York Yankees. It's one of the biggest rivals in
Yeah,
all of sports.
right.
But the Yankees weren't that good in the late '80s, early '90s. They weren't that good. They had a couple good players, but they stunk. And the team that was tough was the Toronto Blue Jays. Late '80s, early '90s. Of course, early '90s they won back-to-back world championships. So
Right.
the owner came to me and said, "Listen, I want you on the Blue Jays, and we're going to rebuild this team to get back to this championship ways to win a World Series." And so that's how that all came together. Paul Beeston, I love Beastie. He was super to talk to. And he won me over 2 years in Toronto. After the second year in Toronto, he left to go to the commissioner's office, which kind of freed up my deal. And next thing you know, Mr. Steinbrenner comes to Houston, not once, but twice. And George, who I got a little more mellow, George Steinbrenner. And he said, listen, I've been trying to get you for 2 or 3 years. You want to be a damn Yankee or don't you? So I ended up signing with the Yankees, and then the Red Sox changed ownership, and we had our team, and it was good again because both teams were very good and very competitive. And as you know, when you got two teams hungry and thirsty for a world championship, and there's only one ring, you can butt heads pretty easy.
Thinking about buying a home, but not sure where to start? Jeff Schwartz at Altitude Home Loans makes the process simple. From application to closing, Jeff helps you find the best loan for your financial goals and keeps everything moving smoothly. Because the right team makes all the difference. Ready to get started? Apply today with Jeff at Altitude Home Loans. Right, but you then got your 2 World Series with the Yankees. I mean,
I did. It was really special. I think the thing, because when you bring up the Yankees right now, for me, it brings to the memory of probably the coolest thing. So in my 24 years of playing, the coolest thing that I've ever done was I was supposed to pitch the night of 9/11, and this is the 25th year of 9/11 coming up. So we've done about 6 documentaries with different companies on 9/11, and obviously they're calling me because I was the starting pitcher that night in that city. I was actually going against my former team, the Red Sox, and I had a milestone. I was trying to win my 20th game, and to win 20 games as a starting pitcher is like a tier top type
something
event.
you could do, only you could do.
And so, but what was really cool, Kim, about this is my agents went to high school with our 4-star general at the time, General Richard Myers.
Oh, wow.
And when all hell broke loose, we all know what happened. I was about my condo was about 5 miles from the World Trade, and once everything had happened and the dust had settled a little bit, we resumed playing baseball. We came back in Chicago against the White Sox, and there was not a dry face. There was tears everywhere. But anyway, after the season ended, the very next year, General Myers called my agent and said, "Hey, I'd like Rocket to go to the Middle East with me and see a bunch of our men and women and help and cheer up their morale and just to be there. They see him and they're blah 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 blah."
How
So
fun is that?
I ended up doing it for I think it's 7 days. It was around Christmas time. And but it was the coolest thing. We asked Drew Carey, the comedian. Drew was super.
Yeah.
He came with us to tell us a few jokes. But that's what I think about when you talk about the New York Yankees. I think about how resilient those families were, those firemen, those police officers. We lost so many loved ones
Yeah.
that we're getting ready to celebrate the 25th year of that. So I can't believe it's been 25 years already, but
Exactly.
it's amazing.
I know, time flies. You also had another pivotal moment, which is sad, but when your mother died, didn't you have to pitch that night?
I did. That's a great question. Yeah, so that was probably my toughest. The pitching the first game back after 9/11 was very difficult. Losing my mom and having to pitch was probably a notch or two above that. I really had to collect myself in the first and second inning. It took me about 2 innings to get my mind in tune with what I was doing. So I drove to Austin. My mom lived in Austin, about a 2-hour drive from home here.
Right.
And my sisters were there. My sisters lived up there. And they said they don't think mom's going to pull through this one. So I went up there to tell her I love her and everything. And the Astros knew I was going to pitch. They were thinking about scratching me from my start. And I said, no, my mom would want me to pitch. It's, she's a workaholic and she knows your job comes first. And so they go, we'll send an airplane to come get you and bring you back to the stadium. And I go, no, I'm going to drive the 2 hours because it's going to take me at least that long I'm going to drive straight to the stadium, but it's going to take me about 2 hours to clear my mind before I get that start. So really cool event happened. I got about halfway home. My sisters called and said, Mom is gone. And my sisters didn't tell me about what was going on, but this is the kicker. The kicker is, which I tease my Astro buddies, our hitters, they never scored me any runs. I mean, if I got 4 runs in a game, it was like a miracle. That was like 20 runs. So I always teased them. Well, this particular game, I think I went 8 innings, and I left the game, and it was 8-2. And when I came out of the game in the 7th or 8th inning, the guys ended up scoring 2 more. We won the game 10-2. Now, I have a Shoeless Joe Jackson bat that I got. I think there's very few here, but I got it from Louisville Slugger, and they let me purchase it. The reason I bring it up is because one of my mom's, probably her favorite movie of all time is Field of Dreams, where those players come out of the cornfield.
Right.
And one of them is Shoeless Joe. And that's one of her favorite movies. As my mom was passing, my sisters called me after the game in tears, and I said, what is going on? And they go, we got to tell you this story. They said, Mom said something. She mumbled on her way out, Shoeless Joe Jackson twice. And she also she mumbled the words 10-2. And we won the game 10-2 that night.
Oh, wow. I just got
that. Yeah. So she mentioned Shoeless Joe twice, and she mentioned, she said the numbers 10-2, and we won 10. I came out, it was 8-2. And then when my sisters saw the extra 2 runs go on the board later, they totally freaked out.
Right.
And my phone was like, I had messages and messages. And when the game had ended, I finally got to my phone after I got done icing my arm. And so I had to make the phone call to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And they said, you're not going to believe it. So anyway, that's something I'm going to write about one day.
Yeah. It was special, but it must have been hard. But it shows your mental resilience. I guess that's one of the words that you use. And you have to have that in any profession, I think, to be at the top.
I would agree with that. I think there's going to be plenty of times you get knocked down, you're going to pick yourself up. I think people on the outside, there's so like you said, with so much social media and everything else, there's so much criticism where some people just don't know. We try and not comment on things that we know nothing about. I make comments on, like the president, 47, got to play golf with him. It was fantastic. I've played with him a couple other times. And I said, I can handle his late night tweets and everything else, because as long as he's doing a great job for our country, making us feel safe. And for somebody that had a lease in South Texas and saw it run over by illegals, it's tremendous. Come here a minute. I got your girlfriend here. Get over here.
Oh,
get over and say the real golfer. Lean in here.
Yeah, she is the real golfer. Hi.
How are you doing?
We're recording right now, and she is baseball etiquette right now. Okay. Miss Kim, she's going to be like you. She's going to be my second pitching coach.
I just had to quick study. I'm trying.
I got pitching coach 1 here and pitching coach 2 there.
Yeah, you don't walk the first batter.
Yeah, she always griped at me when I walked the first batter of the game.
Can't do that.
Yeah. I mean,
hello. It's good to see you, Debbie.
I'm happy y'all are doing this.
I know.
See ya. I miss you, Kim.
I miss you too.
Come see me in Sedona.
Okay.
Yeah, come see her in Sedona. She already told her she's always invited. I'm not.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, how funny. So getting back to resilience, you really didn't have that many injuries. That's not why you retired from the game, and you retired 3 times, right?
Yeah, anybody can retire once. I tried it 3 times. It didn't work. It was fun. That was a blessing, because after I came out of retirement the last time, I actually got to pitch for my hometown team. They talked me into pitching here at home. It's pretty cool, sleeping in your own bed, driving 20 minutes to the stadium.
Right.
And I got to play with a lot of cool guys, a lot of cool teammates that I watched from afar for a long time. So, and we got to the World Series. We kind of flipped those 3 years. We probably flipped a football town to a baseball town big time. I mean, we did a lot of winning, and it was a lot of fun. But you're right. I mean, you have to, you have to stay focused to play that long.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've also written a book, right? And appeared in movies. And one thing you and Debbie, because you just had Debbie on, didn't you do like I did, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue?
Oh my gosh, she was so mad at me. I talked to her. They tried to get a couple younger couples to do it, and everybody chickened out. So the little athlete, she put it in high gear. Once I told her that we're going to do it, she was like freaking out, and so she started. She doesn't like to do long distance running, but she was running 2 to 3 miles just about every other day. She was getting after it. So I was proud of her. She looked amazing. You guys look amazing when you guys do that kind of stuff. And so it was fun for us to do it. We were worried about the boys in high school having their mom plastered everywhere, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for most of my career, I did things before I had my sons. You had 4 sons. I had 3. And I just made sure that I did it because I was comfortable with what I could handle, or my dad. But I look back and my sons would have been ready to fight if I had done a bad photo, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Boys, they're like, I'd fight the whole locker room, Mom. Good thing you didn't do bad pictures.
Yeah,
so
I love it. Like I said, it takes a lot of discipline. Like I said, I talk to the guys, the current guys now too, because a lot of guys, some of them are, just a little bit out of shape, and like I said, they're really in control of, their personal appearance and how they look and how they feel. I mean, that's super important.
Yeah. So do you think you didn't have many injuries because you took care of yourself so well?
Yeah, I mean, I still do. I still travel with 3 or 5 pound cuff weights, Kim, when I go golfing. So I don't get a frozen shoulder. I'm still throwing I throw from about 55 feet, maybe 50 feet to the big league guys to be able to still give them a little velocity. And, I got to be ready for these grand boys. They don't care how old I am. And they want Poppy out there winging them. Come on, throw it to me, throw it to me, throw it to me. So
you can't hit a hard one to those guys.
No, I don't throw fast to them. I throw what I call a room service. It's it's almost like batting practice for them. So, and they love it because, for the most part, I can still throw strikes. They talk about pressure. I had to tell this story at a banquet just the other night, a big banquet. And the questions were like, hey, when you're golfing, like in these celebrity tournaments, and they're showing you on TV, and, you have a 3-foot putt, pressure, a lot of pressure. And when you're pitching Game 7 of the World Series, a lot of pressure. I said, hold on. I said, you guys want to know what pressure is? Pressure is go home on an off day. The one of the boys it was Dad's pitch. He's 7 years old. You're doing Dad's pitch. So you're in that little circle out there. And you got the kids up there. They swing. Some of them have a high swing. Some of them have a low swing. So I always tell them, hey, take a practice swing so I can see where your bat path is.
Right.
Because, Kim, you win or lose Dad's pitch on how the dad throws. You got to hit the kid's bat, basically.
Right.
And they get 6 pitches. And if you don't hit their bat for 6 pitches, you strike them out and they're in the dugout crying and you feel terrible.
So that stressed you out worse than the 7th game of a World Series?
Absolutely. So I get to pitch 6. I'm on pitch 6 and this little guy's at the plate. And I'm like, here you go, little man. Get your eyes on it. Watch the ball. Watch the ball. Come on now. Really? What? Come on. I don't want to strike. This kid. Watch it. And all of a sudden in the stands, one of the moms, Jesus, you're a professional. Throw my kid a strike. That's pressure. I got the moms hooting on me at the kids' game. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please, kid, hit the ball, please. So that's pressure. Game 7 of the World Series, nothing compared to doing that.
Wow. That's amazing to most people, I think.
Oh, the kids pitch. And you got to lob it and throw it perfectly and try and hit his bat. I mean, it's harder than rearing back and throwing a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, I'm telling you.
And being accurate, right? I guess their accurate is different than the strike zone or whatever you call it. Yeah. They may have a whole different thing. So here you are, this big teddy bear. I always call you a teddy bear every time I tell someone about how wonderful you are. And there were times where, did you really do the beanball or the headhunters?
Yeah. So people talk about, there's like 24 years, I think I hit a guy, because you're throwing that high rate of speed. And if I'm coming inside, you try and come inside. I tell people the home plate is 17 inches wide.
Right.
And you pitch inside, which I had to at Fenway Park. There's a lot of big time hitters that if you left the ball over the middle of the plate at Fenway Park, it goes a long way the other way over that green monster. But when you pitch inside, there are times when you pitch inside and you miss inside, you're going to hit guys. A lot of them have a ton of equipment on now. They got the big elbow brace and the hand brace, and they need to have that.
And the thing on the jaw.
Oh yeah. They got the thing. We got the little guys even wearing that in kids pitch because the kids pitch guys are pretty wild. But I think in 24 years, I might have hit 3 guys above the shoulder, coming up and in on them. Now, what you're asking about is in a game.
If you're intentionally aiming.
Yeah. No. What you're asking about is when a game gets a little ugly on the professional level. I always say you never want this in high school or college or even little league, whatever. But in the professional ranks, there might be one of my hitters that has an issue with the pitcher, where he's probably hit him before or something like that, and they wind up and hit our guy in the back or something. That guy comes over to the bench to me and says, and I'm looking at him. Usually guys won't come sit next to me when I'm working, but they'll say, hey, I said, you got a problem with this? And he goes, yeah, we got a problem. So that's what you call cleaning up a game, where they did it in the old school days, Yogi Bear and Don Drysdale and all these guys, that if their motto was, if you hit one of my guys, I'm going to hit 2 of your guys. And that was old school. So but pretty much now, with the way the strike zone is, they pinch you a little east and west. They give you north and south. They work up and down in the zone. Those kind of days, I think, are over quite a bit. And all these guys are all chasing velocity. A lot of these dudes throw 98 to 100 miles an hour, and they're chasing velocity. I think that's again why when you talk about injuries, you see so many injuries. Your mechanics, when you're throwing baseballs triple digits, 100 miles an hour plus, and you're stretching yourself, if you happen to go to 100 pitches, 110 pitches, that's a tremendous amount of taxing and stress on your arm and shoulder. That's why you're seeing a lot of these Tommy John surgeries these guys are having, and then they come back and they say, "Oh, he got his elbow fixed. He's throwing harder." I go, no. He's not throwing any harder. It's just that he's healthy again. And let me tell you what, you got to do the small muscle. When you get Tommy John, that 16, 18 months coming back, you really have to stay religious with your exercises and the program the doctor puts you on to be able to come back and return somewhere close to yourself at the major leagues, for sure.
Right. Interesting. So, but I mean, for you guys to be able to know exactly where you put it.
Sometimes when if I'm throwing 93 to 95, 6 miles an hour, I'm pretty good. When you start, and I threw over 100 miles an hour a bunch, but I never pitched it. I'm a power pitcher. I'm not a power thrower. There's a difference. When you get these power thrower guys winding up and heaving it, they can make a mistake down the middle, which the big league hitters, I tease everybody. I say tease them, but it's true. Most big league hitters can put wood on a bullet. They're that good. And
okay.
But when you start getting to 98, 100 miles an hour, and you're turning that loose, you can get that ball can go any which direction. So you have to be heads up on that.
Right. Okay.
I want to talk about our golf game. Are you still getting after it?
I just did the Myrtle Beach, so I did the Monday after the Masters. And
you're a big leaguer. You're such a big leaguer.
Oh my gosh, they gave us this condo. It was a 2-bedroom condo, and the beds were rock hard. And so, of course, you're playing the celebrity with the pro, right? So I had this pro, and he's like, "You're not turning." Like, I was playing terrible. He's like, "You're not twisting." I'm like, "My lower back." I was like, "Because you're sleeping on this terrible rock hard bed." I'm like, I was all seized up, and but it was all about, I mean, people were on the course and you're signing autographs, and they're all teeing off and you're here signing all these autographs. So it was just a day to have fun, and it wasn't about necessarily keeping score. So
that's why they gave you the condo.
No, they gave us all the condos.
You didn't know to bring your own mattress.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure you had that too, where sometimes where you are and what you have to go through, or there's noise all night long and you've got to pitch the next day. I mean, and I used to have to show up and not look haggard and tired. I mean, that's just part of life, and you have to roll with the punches sometimes.
Well, you talk about rolling with the punches. I got one for you. When I was a rookie, my first 2 years, my first year as a rookie and my very next year, we had roommates. So you had 2 queen beds in a room. We had a roommate, and my roommate just happened to be a ridiculous loud snorer. I mean, where if I didn't get to sleep first, I'm done. And I can't tell you how many, the 6 months of the season that I can't tell you how many times that I took my comforter and my pillow and I slept in the bathtub and I shut the door.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I can't see you fitting in those little hotel bathtubs.
I didn't. No, I didn't. Legs were hanging over the side, but it was quiet.
Yeah.
And I locked the door, so if he had to go to the restroom at night, he's going to have to go downstairs. He's not getting it. I don't care how hard he bangs on the door. Nope. No chance. So
well, it's setting boundaries, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. That's right, baby.
Yeah. Well, it was wonderful having you, Roger. Thank you so much. And I hope people learned so many things from you. Preparation is key and taking care of yourself. And it's not just about how you look, it's how you're thinking.
100%,
right?
baby. 100%. Love it. And let's golf sometime soon.
Yes. Yes, we need to do that. And I already said hi to Debbie, so I'll say hi to Jeff for you.
Please do.
I will. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching the show. If you have any questions for me or you want any more information, go to kimalexis.com.